Hello children, welcome to video classes and I'm really happy that you're watching this video. And in the previous video, we have successfully completed the introduction part of Tipitty the flying squirrel. Okay children, and I really hope that you all have understood what is rodent family is all about. And we did some exercises like rearranging group of letters to find the name of some rodent family, isn't it? And we have done two paragraphs of this particular lesson also. And as I told you that this lesson is going to be very interesting children, because it is about a pet animal, the flying squirrel. Okay children, before I further go, let's get started at today's video class. And let's continue. She lived in a little box with two partitions. The inner one, her bedroom, was fitted with a little nest of feathers and cotton wool, and a tiny door led from it into the bigger sitting room where she also dined. So here we're talking about the box which she lived. She means the flying squirrel or Tipitty. Okay children, and the author arranged a box to live, isn't it? Box to the flying squirrel. Okay, and it has two partitions, I mean two portions. That is, one is inner one, okay, that is her bedroom. I mean her means a Tipitty's bedroom, and another one is for for dined and sitting room, something like this, isn't it? And the inner one created by feathers and cotton wool. Okay children, and then even the dinner also, it only eat in the sitting room. Okay, the door of her sitting room being usually open, it always open. Okay, the room of the box is always open usually. Okay, Tippity would announce the fact that she was awake by giving a low growl, and issuing from there is a succession of long and not very graceful jumps. So whenever it wakes, it gives a kind of a sound, a little sound, isn't it? Growl, something, a little sound, and it usually do a kind of jumps which are not very gracefully, isn't it, children? And she would make her way to nearest table, and there include in a tremendous stretch, extending her forelegs to full in front of her, and her hind leg means the leg, the left leg, okay, as far as they could behind her. Her head would first rest on the right forehead and then on the left. So here we're talking about the stretches that a flying squirrel do. After jumping outside, it just go near to the table, and it usually stretches his legs and hands, whatever the range that she could. Okay children, and the first she used to, I mean she always do that, her head would first rest on the right forefoot and then on the her left. Okay children, and her tail making cycles in air in the meanwhile. Always do that, the animals, right? Crazy animals. After her stretch, after her stretch, would come her toilet. The toilet means not literally the washroom. It is like what we can call it as cleaning herself, isn't it? How the pet or how the animals clean themselves, with the tongue or nose, isn't it? Licking them, something like this, isn't it? And about which she was most particular. So she was a very particular about the cleanliness, isn't it? Tippity would sit erect and carefully get to work with both her little hands. Beginning with the tip of her nose, she would gradually work over the whole of her face and head. See children, I mean here we're talking about the toilet thing. Toilet means cleaning herself. Cleaning herself. Okay. It had started cleaning after the stretch. Okay. And then erect means would sit erect, only sit at two legs, and it opens the hands, the little hands, and beginning the tip of her nose. He started cleaning her nose, and then she would gradually walk over the whole of her face and head. After he do, I mean, the she do a clean face and head. The tail would be her last. So at finally, our flying squirrel clean the tail of her. Okay, but by no means her least care. Her toilet finished. Tipitty would have a look around, take one jump off the table, and race up the nearest curtains to the pole above. There she would sit, her tail coiled round her neck, and those great big black eyes of hers looking solemnly down, and sooner or later she would leap right across the room onto my shoulder. So, see, children, how beautifully the writer had written this. He described very nicely. If you observe, if you understand clearly, it is a very, very nice, describing children, because he loved animals. He really, really loved animals. Okay, mainly the wild animals, wild pet animals. Okay, so here he is after the toilet, after the cleaning for herself, that the Tipitty used to go to the curtains, the pole, curtain poles, and then she used to sit there, and she coiled round her neck, and those great big black eyes were very wonderful, very beautiful, and solemnly looking down. And sooner or later, so some other time, that obviously after that, the flying squirrel come to my shoulder. Shoulder means whose shoulder, children? The writer's shoulders. Okay, children, so obviously it was pet of the author, obviously it goes there, isn't it, children? So see, for your better understanding, I'll share one more video which is totally based on animation, because it is a very, very helpful to you to understand the story clearly. Okay, animation video, I'll send you one animation video, then you can easily understand, because while I'm explaining this I cannot show the animations, right? So that is why I will share one more video to you based on animations. Okay, and see, Dawn, a field spaniel, and Brock, a large shaggy Tibetan sheepdog, were Tipitty's best friends. So here we're talking about the two best friends of Tipitty. So as we can see, the two dogs. Okay, the two dogs were a different breeds, and here the writer telling us the breeds names also. Don, one dog name is Don, Don, a field spaniel, the breed is a field spaniel, and second friend, Brock. Okay, Brock is also a large sharpie Tibetan sheepdog. It is a different breed. Okay, what Tipitty's best friends. And Brock's great bushy tail afforded Tipitty much amusement as well as shelter in time of danger. See, children, how beautifully he described. So whenever a Tipitty feel a kind of frightened or something, it used to just go to near the Brock's tail and it just hide herself. Okay, and for Tipitty knew friend from few. I mean, who is enemy and who is friend. He knew everything. Okay, and the approach of a stranger was the signal for her to make use of Brock's tail as a hiding place. So whenever a stranger came across, so obviously a Tipitty go to Brock's tail, and it hides herself in the hiding place. What is the hiding place? The tail of Brock's. Okay, her behavior was not always that of a well brought up young lady, and truth obliges me to admit that during meals it was advisable to keep her tight at one end of the table. So see, children, I cannot say, I means the writer couldn't say that it is a very well brought up lady. It is not very dignity, because it is a pet dog, it do some kind of crazy things, as we all know that. pet animal, sorry, it is a pet animal, so it do crazy things, isn't it? So obviously he admitted it, the writer also admitted it, and during the meal, so the writer suggesting that, advising that it has to be tied, otherwise it can spoil all the dinner table. Okay, I have already said that she had a lovely tail, so we all know that the squirrel has a very very beautiful and lovely tail, but its beauty was sometimes made after passing through the soup, and so was the taste of the soup. Her own dinner consists of milk and occasionally custard. So see children, as the writer said, it was a very very beautiful tale, but sometimes it can be messy with just passing through the soup which used to for the the dinner of her. Okay, and the dinner is milk and occasionally custard. And pudding she loved as much as schoolboy. She really loved puddings. Okay, as much as any schoolboy. She, as I mean, we all know that the schoolboys are very very likable towards the puddings, isn't it? And steward, I mean, steward means the boiled fruits kept her happy all evening. The hardest hill walnut was child's play to her sharp teeth. So it is a very very easy thing to hill walnut, isn't it? Make a walnut you can eat. The flying squirrel eat very easily the hardest hill walnut. Okay, that is a very very hardest hill walnut, children. But it can eat, it can break it very easily. Okay, it took her about 10 minutes to make a hole in the walnut. Only 10 minutes. Within 10 minutes, our Tipitty can make a hole in the walnut. And then her long teeth and tongue would soon fetch out most of the kernel. Okay. Tipitty was the means of my solving a problem in natural history, regarding which is a controversy raised for many months. So actually, the Tipitty was the reason that writer had solved a problem in natural history, children. What was the problem? Let's see. Himalayan nutcracker. As we all know that it is a bird, Himalayan nutcracker, and the name of the bird is Nucifraga hemispila. Okay, had been credited with the holes one frequently found in walnut in the Himalayas. I tested the truth of the ascension by placing walnut under a tree where a pair of nutcrackers used to come. The birds turned over the nuts but did not attempt to break them. So see children, here he had a test. I mean, he did a test to the the Himalayan nutcrackers. Actually, the Himalayan nutcrackers are the birds which just break the nuts very easily, walnut. But he had a doubt, other they really can do that, something like this. So he placed some walnuts there, but the Himalayan nutcrackers did not break it. Okay, but after this a few nuts were collected in which Tipitty had already made holes and placed under some trees, same tree, and carefully watched. So after that he placed some nuts which are already already made holes by Tipitty, and he placed it. In due course, the birds come along and at once selected the walnut and began pecking at them and working their beaks inside the holes. So see children, actually the nutcrackers are not actually they are doing it. Actually after the flying squirrels doing all those things, it is getting the credits. But it is not true. The credits goes to our Tipitty's family. Okay children, and I really hope that you all have understood what exactly it is. Okay children, thank you very much for watching the entire video. We'll continue the class. We'll continue the class in the next video. Okay children, thank you very much. So if you do have any doubts, please let me know. I'll always be there to help you. Thank you so much.